Welcome to sportsbookreview.com. I'm Flash, and it's the Premier League show. Tin helmets need to go on because there's goals, there's late goals. Tottenham give up a 3-goal lead. I was happy because I had West Ham double chance. It was the only shining light, apart from maybe Southampton getting a 93rd minute equaliser for 3-3 at Stamford Bridge as well. But if you had Liverpool to win and both teams to score, it was the devil's work. Then some books actually voided all Liverpool bets because it was such a disgrace. Now, obviously, I've got Martin and Matt. Before we go to them, if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button and ring the bell. Ring the bell means that we'll notify you. So you'll realise already that we're going to go live at 5 o'clock Eastern time on Wednesday when it's Champions League. Now, there might be a new time next week. So if you haven't subscribed, you must. Also press a link in the description and that'll take you over to the articles wrote by either Martin or Alex or Tan or Dave. And there'll be parlays in there that will differ from this show. But first of all, Martin and the Liverpool fan, Matt. Matt, I'm going to come to you first. Must be absolutely devastated. One, by losing Virgil van Dijk. And secondly, having a perfectly good goal ruled offside in the 93rd minute.
Yeah, there's no real explanation for that goal being chalked off at all. He looked clear on sides. It makes no sense really to me. But when you watch the Champions League game today, you see the team step up in Virgil van Dijk's absence quite remarkably, keeping a clean sheet against Ajax. Fabinho was tremendous. And they're going to need a lot of players to step up because we know that Virgil van Dijk is one of, if not the best defender in the world today.
Well, he's definitely the best in the Premier League, I would go as far as saying. Now, what about Arsenal? They did well, Martin, because they go to the Etihad. They don't get blown away. And how they don't score, I just do not know.
No, they never really get blown away anymore. They're a much more solid, resolute team under Mikel Arteta. But yeah, sadly, they just showed a bit of a lack of ambition going forwards in that second half. It was a great performance from Ederson in the first half. Don't get me wrong. He played really, really well. And Arsenal were unfortunate not to score there. But when they were 1-0 down with about 10 minutes left, I just couldn't understand why they wouldn't take more risks and go for it. They seemed happy to lose 1-0 in the end. A bit toothless in attack. So hopefully we'll see a reaction from them against Leicester on Sunday.
Before we go to the Friday night game, which is Villa versus Leeds, you're our third guest in the chat. And if it is your first time, let us know you've subscribed. And also give us a little bit of a thought process because there's plenty wise people in the chat who give us winners and bankers. And they give us the odd steer away from certain bets as well. We'll have a 2-team parlay that will go forward. But first of all, we've got to look at the depressing side of things. And it's the records, please, Fabian. Here we go. Martin just keeping his head above water. And in these choppy waters, that is absolutely outstanding. Matt at -4. Flash minus 820. I've really got to step up my game in the Premier League. It's my home ground as well. And the team parlay, well, he's doing great, old team parlay. I might take a bit of a bit of encouragement out of him. But the total is minus 940. So let's really eat into this. I think it's an easier card this week, dare I say it. But the Premier League is the Premier League. Now, Martin, I'm going to come to you first. Aston Villa versus Leeds on Friday night. Now, Villa, no one in their wildest dreams would expect Villa to have a 100% record. 4 out of 4. They go to the Walker Stadium, keep another clean sheet and win 1-0. Ross Barkley scoring twice in the last 2 games. Villa up plus 135, draw plus 250, and Leeds at plus 200. Are you going to roll with this Villa bandwagon? Or do you think that Leeds come back after drawing a blank at home to Wolves?
It's just a really difficult game to call for me. Like you, I didn't expect this from Aston Villa. Don't think anyone did. They had a great summer transfer window, kept hold of Jack Grealish and brought in Ollie Watkins and Ross Barkley. They do look really good in midfield now. I have to say that for them. I think they'll have a good season. I'm expecting them to fall away sooner or later and drop down to mid-table. But yeah, it's been a great start for them and well played. I kept saying that Leeds are eventually going to run out of steam because they just go for it too much in every game. Didn't expect it to be quite so soon. That was a bit of an underwhelming performance against Wolves last time out. Didn't really create much. Harrison's now out injured. It's not looking quite so good for them either. I'd be leaning towards Aston Villa in this one, but I can't bring myself to pull the trigger on it because I just can't imagine Aston Villa keeping up this 100% record. Maybe I'd go for a draw if I was going to go for anything.
Yeah, I fancy leaning on the draw, maybe leaning on the unders. Matt, have you got any view in this game?
So I think that Villa got a perfect blueprint in a sense for how Wolves played Leeds. I kind of view Villa and Wolves in a similar category in a sense, both pretty solid, just at the back. But yeah, really in this one, it's a tough one to call. I think that both teams can find the back of the net. I think that Leeds should have scored against Wolves. And I think that Wolves might be a little bit more solid than Villa in defense. So for me here, it would be both teams to score. It's kind of high. The over, if you combine it with the over 2.5, you're going to find it around evens. I think we could see a Friday night thriller, actually.
Maybe the old Alex Classic is involved around the plus 100 now. Next game is West Ham at plus 800. Shows great spirit the other day when they were 3-0 down against Tottenham. Defending was absolutely dreadful, so take that into account. Draw at plus 450 and Man City at minus 250. Matt, I think that Man City always love playing away in London, especially at West Ham. I feel as if they go and they do a job on them, to be honest.
Yeah, I have circled Man City team total over 2.5 goals at even money. I think that, West Ham's defense, they're still really poor. It was fantastic work for them to come back 3-3 and pull off the shocker against Spurs like that. But this is still a different animal to me, and they still have huge question marks in defense. I mean, they gave up 3 goals in 15 minutes to Spurs. Why can't City score 3 in 90 minutes?
No, I totally agree. And the thing is with West Ham, they're going to have a go and then get hit on the break. I think that they'll completely dominate. I was quite impressed with them, though. They went 3-0 down, Martin, but they kept playing and they had the lion's share second half. They just were feeling a little bit short. But as soon as they scored the 1 goal, you could see that 3-3 was on the cards.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal comeback, and they've really turned their season around after losing the first 2 games. Credit to them. But for me, I have to go with Man City in this one. I think the return of Sergio Aguero is just a game changer for them. Doesn't really work with Raheem Sterling up front. He's a very good player, but he doesn't lead the line to the same sort of ability, and he hasn't got that movement in behind the defenders quite so much. With Aguero down the middle and Sterling to the side of him, they should be very, very strong. Just watched them beat Porto 3-1 in the Champions League. Bit of a sluggish opening, but they turned the screw in the second half, and it was good for them to see Torres get off the mark with his first goal. Gundogan back as well, curled in a lovely free kick. So they've got a lot of competition for places right now. I think they'll be really sort of motivated by that injury to Virgil van Dijk. They can think, we can go on and win the league now. That's seriously weakened our greatest rival. But now they have to start putting points on the board. So I'm going for a Man City win in this one.
Okay, you're just going, what, straight Man City win?
No, -1 Asian handicap.
So you're going -1 Asian handicap. I'm actually going -1.5 Asian handicap. And it's, I think, plus 105, which I can see them winning 3-1, 4-1. Maybe even 3-0, and Ulrich says there's no value. Well, I've just given you the value. Man City -1.5 on the Asian handicap at around plus 105. Now, you have got to be absolutely crazy to play on this next game. It's Fulham at plus 190, draw plus 220, Crystal Palace at plus 160. We said a couple of weeks ago when Fulham went to Wolves, there were sprouts that they were starting to get confident. They go to Sheffield United and they get the draw. Now playing in a London derby against a confident Crystal Palace side, even though they draw 1-1 against Brighton with only 1 shot on target, Martin.
Yeah, they weren't great in that game. Brighton, unlucky again, didn't take their chances. We'll get onto them later. But yeah, it's a decent points tally so far for Crystal Palace, despite not really setting the world alight with their performance levels. You would probably have to lean towards them in this game. Zaha's in good form. He's the game changer there. But yeah, I wouldn't bet on this either. Just not really quite too sure what we're going to get with Fulham right now. Terrible start to the season, but they've toughened up a bit in recent weeks and they're picking up points. They've got to get their first win somewhere. Could it be at Craven Cottage this weekend? Possibly. Not betting on it, though. Not betting on it for me.
Maybe Fulham draw no bet might be the way to go with the value. Or Fulham at plus 190, as you say, they've got to get their win from somewhere. And having Crystal Palace come to town, everyone think Palace may be too streetwise, too strong. But Matt, Fulham at plus 190?
Yeah, no, this is an ugly one. Maybe unders. Maybe unders in this game because Palace, like we touched on, one shot on target last week. I had Brighton. I felt a little bit hard done by it. I think Brighton completely dominated the game, and I was ended up lucky to get a push out of it. So, but here in this one, I think it could go either way. And I think that the draw is be in play, and I think that the unders would be in play because I just don't see a lot of goals coming here.
Well, maybe the 0-0 or the 1-1 for Matt. Matt, I'm going to stay with you because we've got Man United at plus 160. Great performance last night. Looks so sure at the back as well. Maybe because someone weren't playing. Draw plus 270 and Chelsea at plus 170. This is one of them. Flip the coin, but I definitely see goals.
Yes. Yep. In this one, I've gone with Chelsea in this game. The line has moved a little bit. Now United, after that performance against PSG, have taken some money here. And I think that it's not correct in a sense because I think that United, they step up for the Champions League game. They go to Paris. They step up for it, it makes a lot of sense. And like you touched on, no Maguire. But I think that Chelsea actually had a decent performance yesterday, too. It was nice to see them battle it out, really, with a team like Sevilla and go 0-0 with them and not allow a goal. I don't really care that they didn't score against Sevilla. I think that in this one, Chelsea and over 1.5 goals is where I think the value is. This is one of those where early in the season last year, United dusted Chelsea, completely ran them off the pitch. Chelsea beat them the second time around. It's a tough one to split. I mean, I'll give it to you. This is a tough one. It could go either way, but I actually like Chelsea in this one. I think that United could revert back to their former ways.
Okay, well, Martin, I think that the Alex Classic is guaranteed. So, I mean, why are you worrying about who's going to win the game when you expect both teams to score and over 2.5 goals?
I certainly do, Flash, and that's my bet on this game. Yeah, both teams to score over 2.5 goals. Like Matt said, Man United beat Chelsea home and away in the Premier League last season. Chelsea got sweet revenge by beating Man United 3-1 in the FA Cup semi-final. So both teams to score and overs paid off in that one. Man United have already conceded 12 goals in 4 games so far this season, which is just ridiculous. Chelsea have conceded 9 already. Neither of these teams can defend. Chelsea have had 2 3-all draws with Southampton and West Brom. So both very strong going forwards, both very, very dodgy at the back. Have to go on the goals market here. Alex Classic.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think the midfields here are going to be redundant. I mean, you've got such attacking firepower on both sides. Good to see Havertz and Timo Werner get involved for Chelsea. And then you've got Martial, you've got Rashford, you've got so much. And Fernandes is obviously gluing everything together as well. I don't care about the winner. It's an Alex Classic all the way for me. Now, I'm going to come back to you again, Matt, because it's your Liverpool minus Virgil van Dijk. Sadio Mane comes off with maybe a dodgy knee, so we don't know if he's going to play. But at minus 345, draw plus 600. And Sheffield United, who've struggled so far this year, at plus 1150. How do we find value?
Under, I think, is where the value is actually. With no Van Dijk, everyone's going to be kind of thinking, oh, they can't defend. And it's just what I was kind of touching on before the show, talking with you guys against Ajax. They keep a clean sheet with Ajax. And the team steps up in his absence. And that's kind of what I'm looking for here. And not to mention the fact that Sheffield really struggle to score goals in general here. But they do have a solid defense. It's still organized under Wilder here. The last time that these two teams played, it was like a 1-0. I think it was the first match of last season. It was a 1-0 late Liverpool win. That's kind of what I'm thinking of here. I think it's going to be late. It might be great for Liverpool, but I think under 3 plus 120 looks decent.
Okay, maybe draw half time, Martin. If we think that Sheffield United are going to go there, maybe not quite park the bus, but be very conservative because they don't score enough goals. Also in the chat, we've got Jay saying hello from Africa. Jay, what part of Africa are you in? And you're very welcome, sir. A beautiful, beautiful part of the world, Africa. I've been there to promote football in the townships. Now, Martin, Liverpool, Sheffield United, any value for you?
No value for me, Flash. Not at -345 on a Liverpool without Virgil van Dijk. I honestly think they're a different team without him. He's the bedrock of that defence. You know, he's such an important player for them, and Matip's not going to play either. So not sure who's going to be the central defensive pairing. Great that they got a clean sheet against Ajax. Ajax don't really have a striker. It would be a shame if Sheffield United didn't try to target that defence, especially the way that Liverpool have been leaking goals at the moment. So difficult one, really. I still think Liverpool get the win, but hard to say how they do it. So I'm going to pass.
Okay, Rough One Rand says that Sheffield United, disgraceful, inept in the final third. He's going with Liverpool win to 0. What price have you got, Rough One Rand? That may be one that someone will be interested in. Liverpool win to 0. Now we go to the next game, and it's the mighty Saints plus 200, draw plus 255, and Everton. Now everyone thinks that Everton are a top 4 side at plus 140. Martin, have you got a view
on this game, or whether Everton will be a top 4 side?
Well, anything you want. Do you think they'll be top 4, top 6? And what about this game up against the mighty Saints?
I think they'll fall out of the top 4. It's come all guns blazing at the start of the season, but something's got to give eventually. Jordan Pickford's an accident waiting to happen. I'm not sure they've fixed their defensive issues yet, and eventually this early season momentum's going to run out, and that'll be the real test of things. This is a difficult game for them. Southampton are the mighty Southampton, playing very well. Picked up that 3-3 draw with Chelsea last time out. Good to see Theo Walcott back in action for them, and they'd never say die. They got that very late equaliser. Danny Ings is always dangerous, and I think they'll give Everton a real run for their money in this game. Odds of 140 on Everton are attractive, but staying away from the outrights again and going for goals, both teams to score.
So you're going both teams to score. I'm going one further with both teams to score and over. I mean, this is an Alex classic as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 2-2 draw. Everton are not got a great record down there at St Mary's. I've seen some Everton sides that have been absolutely woeful. Now, they were very impressive last week, and they've been impressive so far this season. And will they take over as the top side in Merseyside, Matt?
No, I don't know about that just yet, but I think that you have a great angle for this match, Flash. I think that both teams to score in the over 2.5. It's around even money. I'm interested in that bet anytime that Southampton take the pitch. So I do like that. That's what I had circled.
Okay, well, Martin, what about Wolves? They get their scrappy 1-0 win away at Leeds last week. They get their 1-0 home win the week before against Fulham. And then minus 130, draw plus 255. And Newcastle, who were blown away by Man United last week, at plus 450 after taking a 1-0 lead at home. But do we trust Wolves to go and get the job done?
Not necessarily for me, no. It's I watched that Wolves versus Leeds game, and I wish I'd just sat and watched paint dry on a wall instead. It was the worst game of the season. We've had goals galore, and those two I was expecting a real classic, and they served up a real horrible viewing experience. Deflected goal from Jimenez that got Wolves the winner, but otherwise there was nothing in the game whatsoever. Newcastle, I think they're going to have to react after that reasonably heavy defeat against Man United. I think they're going to really toughen up. I think this will be another really, really tight game. I'd be going unders if I was going anything, maybe under 2.5 goals, but I'm not sure the value's there.
Yeah, and I think you're onto something there because, Matt, last season we loved Wolves draw half-time. And against Newcastle, that's got to be on the cards because Newcastle, they don't really come out. Wolves, they sort of tiptoe through the game. Is it going to be your first of the season of Wolves draw half-time?
So last week was actually my first of the season. I didn't take it on the show. But when I saw Leeds line up man for man with Wolves, it looked to me like a halftime draw. So I did end up playing it.
Oh, you're claiming it after the event, are you?
Mm-hmm. It was after the event. It was whenever I see a team wanting to match up with Wolves like that, straight up, and try and play their game, it is a halftime draw on the cards, probably about 7 or 8 out of 10 times. So I did take a little something on that myself. So I'm going to go right back to it. Maybe we can see a run here of where it starts coming in. It seems like a match that should have something like that as well. I got a first half draw in this one at plus 115. I like it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I mean, it's one of those that you can almost go with draw half-time, Wolves full-time if you wanted to complicate it a little bit. But this next game, for some reason, I'm not too sure about getting involved, which is very strange with me not getting involved in an Arsenal game. Martin, we've got Arsenal at -105. Stinky, trappy price. Draw plus 285. And Leicester at plus 295. Now, I thought Leicester would be plus 350. Do we know if Vardy's going to play is a massive one. And secondly, are Leicester value with a double chance to get something from the Emirates?
I don't know, because they looked very good against Arsenal last season, beat us comfortably at the King Power. Yuri Tielemans was on fire in that game. But yeah, it's been a dodgy couple of weeks for Leicester. I had them both teams to score against Aston Villa on the show, but then when I saw that lineup, that wasn't something I actually bet on in the end, just because, you know, it was, as soon as you saw the lineup, it looked like Aston Villa, or at least Aston Villa draw no bet, and lo and behold, it came in. Yeah, again, this is probably a lineup check. As we're here on Wednesday, I'm going to still go for Arsenal. I would caution it and check the starting 11, because Jamie Vardy does have the pace to get in behind Arsenal's defenders and cause lots of problems. But I still think Arsenal should come out and win it. It was, like I said, it was a toothless performance in attack against Man City. They need to have a reaction. They can't get a reputation as this sort of park the bus team. They need to show a bit of ambition here. Aubameyang hasn't scored or done anything since signing his new contract, so the onus is on him to start proving his worth. There's still competition for places in Arsenal's attack. Lacazette, Nketiah. The experiment with Willian at false number 9 should hopefully never be used again, because that was diabolical. So hopefully a traditional Arsenal starting 11 comes out against the low on confidence Leicester side, hopefully lacking Jamie Vardy. I'm going for Arsenal to win at home.
Yeah, if Vardy don't play, you steam into Arsenal. You absolutely steam into it. If Vardy plays, I think you can steam into the Alex Classic, or you can even go with Arsenal to win and both teams to score. Matt?
This close to being a banker on Arsenal on this one. I'm still going to play it. I like Arsenal. I don't think it's a trap, actually. Something tells me that this one doesn't smell like some of the old Arsenal matches of the past. I mean, let's look at it. Leicester are missing 3 of their key cogs in this one. So Soyuncu's now out for 3 months. He was team of the year last year with Van Dijk as the center half. So he's out. Pereira's out. Ndidi's out. And now maybe Vardy might miss this match. And I think that Arsenal have improved significantly under Arteta. I don't think this is a trap. I think this is an Arsenal play all day. So I ended up playing this one. -105 looks great. I think it's drifting now into the -115. So if you like it, I mean, you probably want to take it now, or you do wait for the Vardy news just to double check. But gosh, I think that Arsenal are another tier above Leicester right now.
Wow. Okay. I mean, you are sort of swaying me. Evans, Renoa, Endu, I hope I pronounced your name well, and also from Africa, you're more South Africa even. Love my time in East London and in Joburg. Yeah, it's a strange one, this Arsenal-Leicester. I'm going to have to do a lineup check, and maybe I have been doing live in plays. Obviously, we had it off this week with Juve win to 0 and Juve to win and under 2.5 goals. I will be doing more of them live in play, so please follow us on the SBR Sports Picks. Now, love this game. I really love this game, and I hope I'm not putting a bonkers on it. Brighton -125, draw +310. West Bromwich Albion at +350. I think they should be +500. Matt, I love Brighton to win, and not just win 1-0 neither. I think that they really get their rewards from some good performances.
I'm right there with you. I'm leaning with Brighton. I mean, they were so much better last week than Palace, and now you're going to take on a West Brom team here that still really hasn't gotten it all figured out. Brighton do have it figured out. They know what they want to do on the pitch. They want to play silky, slick football. And as a mid-table side, it's really fun to watch. I'm a big fan of some of their forward players. They brought in some good midfielders as well to try and really emulate that style that Graham Potter wants. Yeah, I would be there with you, Flash. I haven't pulled the trigger on this one or anything, but I would go Brighton or it's nothing.
Well, Garrett's gone with Brighton win to 0. That'll do me because I've gone with Brighton and over 1.5 goals, Martin.
Yeah, I got -118 on Brighton just to win the game outright. I thought that was a very attractive price on a team that haven't really had the rub of the green so far this season, playing very well. They've just been unlucky, I think. They've created lots of chances, hit the post, hit the bar a bunch of times, conceded some late controversial penalties. Morpay's maybe not sticking in as many goals as he should be, but I am seeing a lot of quality going forwards from this side. Leandro Trossard looks good. Tariq Lamptey getting down the right wing looks like a quality player. I like what I see from them. I think this is a game that they really should win. Bit of a shame that there's not going to be any fans at the Amex because that really does propel them to victories. But yeah, this is a game that Brighton really should be winning. So home win for me.
Okay, there's a couple of things I want to say. Obviously, there's no Lewis Dunk because he got sent off in like the 90-odd minute at Palace. But the big thing with West Brom is I think they need to hit teams on the counter with their pace. But Brighton don't come out of their holes at the back. They let everyone else go forward and we'll just shut up shop here. And the other thing is, Alexis McAllister scores his first goal for Brighton last week. And he's Argentinian with a name like McAllister. Go figure. Okay, and the last one is Burnley at +500, Martin. Draw +320. And Spurs at -175. Not having Spurs. Still not having Spurs. I think maybe both teams to score, but I'm not having Spurs at -175.
I just love that you're not having Spurs, Flash, when all they can do is just score a million goals every time they play.
I'm not having them.
Son Heung-min's on fire, but yeah, it was a very disappointing capitulation at the back for them. Everyone's saying it's very Spursy, which Jose Mourinho took umbrage with, said we just can't defend set pieces. That defence is always going to be an issue for them. I do fancy Spurs to go and win this game. Should be too good going forwards, but you never quite know. They've got a midweek game tomorrow night. Burnley have got the week off to prepare for it. Sean Dyche will have them fired up. Put balls into that box, target those defenders. They've got to get a first win of the season too, somewhere, Burnley. So, yeah, not betting on it. Not at those odds. Staying away.
No, because you know what he's going to do. He is going to load that ball into the box at the earliest opportunity. I expect both, maybe Barnes and Wood to play up top. He's going to squeeze that midfield. He's going to make sure the back four stay tight up. Don't let Son and Kane or Moura, maybe even Bale, get a run at you. I think this could be a dogged, horrible under 2.5 would be my way. Matt, it's a horrible game.
I like that. I actually did circle, like, first off, I circled the unders in this game. I think that just the way that it sets up leads me to believe that it's going to be an under game. I think that Spurs find a way to bounce back here. That's kind of my thing. So I've gone with Spurs in the under 4.5 goals, -110. I felt that it was fair. I just think that they're going to be too much for Burnley. I really do actually like what Spurs are cooking up right now. I hate to say it, but some things are looking, promising, I think, even though they do just capitulate like that against West Ham. That was a shocker. I'm glad I wasn't on it. I'm glad that Flash took home that win on that one. But this one, I think I'm going to dip my toes in. So at Spurs and under 4.5 for me.
Yeah, the +140 on the West Ham double chance was not looking great, I must admit, after 25 minutes, especially after the way that my weekend had gone as well, because obviously my big one was Liverpool to win and both teams to score, and they did, but they just did that. I did everything right, and I got robbed. I got absolutely robbed, and now obviously I'm now like 8 units down, but luckily enough I'm doing all right in the European leagues. Well, not on all, but some of them. Okay, let's have a little look and see how our selections have gone for this week with the roundup. Please, Fabian. Okay, so Martin's pick, he's got Man City -1 on the Asian handicap at -154. Can you just, so if you went -1 and you win by 1, that's a push, is that right?
Correct.
And if it's 1.5 and you win by 1, it's just a straight loss, and if you need to win by 2?
Correct, yeah.
Excellent. Okay, just to make sure I know. Man United, Alex Classic at -118. Southampton, both teams to score at -150. And Brighton at -117. We've almost mirrored there, Martin. I've just noticed. Matt's picks: Liverpool under 3.5 goals in the game at +120. Wolves draw half time +115. Chelsea to win and over 1.5 at +220. Arsenal -107 to win the game, and Spurs to win and under 4.5 at -110. Now mine is Man City -1.5 on the Asian handicap, -105. That's my banker. Man United, Alex Classic at 118, the same as Martin's. Southampton, Alex Classic at +100. And Brighton to win and over 1.5 goals at +110. Now, before we go and say about subscribing and thumbs up, we've got 94 watching. 34 of you are have already pressed the thumb and gone blue. One of you has gone, maybe you just didn't like us, and put the thumb down. 34 into 97 is about 31.5%, maybe 32%. Now we need a 2-team parlay. What are we going to go for? Martin first. What one do you want to put forward?
Man City -1 Asian handicap against West Ham.
Okay, and what was that? -118 or something, wasn't it? Man City -1 Asian handicap was what? Minus what?
-150, basically.
Oh, -150. Yeah, don't go overboard. What about you, Matt? What one would you like to go forward?
Arsenal. I like Arsenal.
No. Come on, no, pick another one, please.
I said these are tough to pick in a parlay.
What about both teams to score? Chelsea, Man United.
I like that. And I think
you like that one, Martin?
Yeah, I've got both teams to score in that. And
That's
over
it then. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Man United game. But so we're going Man City and Man United. So it's Man United, both teams to score. Have you got a price there? You could have a quick look for me, please, Martin. Why I say to everyone, if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button and ring the bell. Ring the bell means we'll notify you. And at the moment, with Champions League and Europa League going on, you're going to need to be notified because we're going to be moving the schedule around. I'm fitting in between Major League Baseball, NFL. So please press that button and subscribe. And we are going up daily, and it's all thanks to you and spreading the word to your friends and your family. Also, press a link in the description. That'll take you over to the articles. And there's parlays over there because they're greedy and they like to multiply. So for me, you've got to be subscribing and you've got to be enjoying this show. What price you got for me, Martin?
1.57.
1.57, so that's right, -190 and a -150. But there it is. That's our 2-team parlay. Man City -1 on the Asian handicap, and Man United, Chelsea, both teams to score at -190. Let's hope, because the parlay, he's been doing the best out of us so far. Let's hope this is a weekend where we start to claw a little bit back. Thanks, Martin. Thanks, Matt. Look forward to seeing you both soon. It'll be on Friday with you, Martin, with La Liga, where things have been going just okay, but we've got El Clasico this week. Everyone in the chat, enjoy. Everyone from Africa, South Africa, and around the world, we appreciate you so much here on SBR. Speak to you soon. You take care.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.